Hello and welcome back to Second Take Movies, the podcast where we give movies a second look, second chance, a second take, if you will. I am your host, Preston Jenkinson, and joining me is my co-host, Jake Twido.
Preston, what's up?
How we doing?
You know, man, doing the do.
I'm doing really good this week because I have a new audio interface over here, and I'm just having fun with buttons. Like,
I'm kind of feeling that, you're watching a kid open his birthday presents and play with them. I'm over here just, with a mouse going, oh, what do I do?
And then
my fart's good. Yours will be...
and give myself a round of applause for no reason.
I don't like this power, but I'm all for it, I guess.
Yeah. I'm going to put a bleep button or something on there at some point, but we'll see.
Farts.
Yeah. Farts are always fun.
I like that we talked offline about this, and the first thing I think both of us came up with was fart noise.
Fart noise.
You called fat noise in a text.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how much of a child I giggled like, just like, fat noise.
A fat noise? What's that? A fart noise?
I'll get you a fat noise.
So hopefully I sound better now, because that...
Actually, you do. Yeah, a little clearer.
That other interface was like just low all the time. I had to boost myself in recordings all the time. So I'm recording it on the device right now and on this thing, so we'll see.
Nerdily, I can see your waveforms.
Oh, my waveforms are much higher now.
Yeah. Now I'm like, shoot, I need to crank this sucker up.
But today,
I'll start yelling in a minute.
Today we're doing the third Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Best one so far.
Oh, so much better, dude. Just a change of director just is awesome.
I mean, it's sad. I mean, it sucks. Like, Christopher Columbus is great, but this felt like a proper...
I mean, it'd be difficult for anybody to stick around for 8 movies.
Yeah, just ask Harry Potter. Daniel Radcliffe. There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The story for this one, Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione returned to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. That's too many W's. For their
fart noise right there. That's a good old quaft.
For their third year of study, where they delve into the mystery surrounding an escaped prisoner who poses as a dangerous threat to the young wizard. And there's just a lot of reveals and of people who aren't what they are, and
I think watching this for the podcast, I'm watching it differently.
Yeah.
And these movies make a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, previously I watched it and I'm just sitting back, but now I'm like, watching, like, why does this person do that? Why do they do this?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a lot of thought in this, actually.
Yeah.
They're not just, throwing it on the wall. Like, oh, shoot. No, Lupin says things a certain way. Yeah. I think this is when this movie really starts to, like, get in its element.
Oh, yeah.
The series.
Yeah. And Alfonso Cuarón as the director, just, God, what a difference that makes.
Yeah. You gotta, yeah.
Have you seen Children of Men?
Is that the one with
people can't have babies, and then
Bob Owen?
Yeah, and then Octavia Spencer. There's like there's a one shot in that movie that's just
I haven't seen the movie. I know the one shot. That's it.
Best that's ever been done.
I really want to watch it, but that one shot is probably the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like, oh my gosh, how did you do this?
Right.
Gravity. I haven't seen Gravity as well.
It's okay.
Which I thought, I don't care to watch it personally. It looks cool, but I thought he had a bigger filmography. I really thought this guy was like the crap. I almost said something else, but
he must be picky about what he does. I don't know.
Good for him.
Yeah. The positive and negative reviews. The positive from the Hollywood Reporter, Michael Rickstaffen, says a deeper, darker, visually arresting, and more emotionally satisfying adaptation of the J.K. Rowling literary phenomenon, achieving the neat trick of remaining faithful to the spirit of the book while at the same time being true to its cinematic self.
Yeah, I can roll with that. Again, I'm gonna do my best today, especially from here on out, because this is where I feel like I could start to be very judgmental of the books versus the movies.
Yeah.
Everything so far has been pretty close, but this is where it really splits, and that's okay. So
Hmm.
it does make its own name, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Um, Ann Hornaday from the Washington Post says, deli- put delicately, this is one long sit made all the more so by a turgid story of dour visual palette and uninspiring action.
I kind of like there's not a ton of action.
Yeah.
Like you and I have already hit a related thing of Quidditch sucks. Quit showing it.
Yeah, it's terrible. I don't
Who cares?
care.
Who cares? I mean, like, awesome. I mean, the next movie, yeah, it plays out a little bit more.
And
But
for this to be a school, they put those kids in way too much danger for Quidditch. Like,
oh yeah,
Harry's flying up into a lightning storm to catch this little golden ball. Why is the golden ball allowed to get anywhere outside of the field?
dude, it's yeah. This is where I'm gonna quit judging the books versus movies, but also where I start really going, why,
Yeah.
why is this like? Why is the story a part of this? Like, you got these Dementors killing Harry. Why doesn't Dumbledore shut this stuff down?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here, man?
Yeah.
But
But
this one, what an interesting start.
it starts like it usually does, but
Yeah,
I think it goes
then
through it a lot quicker.
it does, and it's crazy that they can the third movie in introduce a character you hate worse than the Dursleys.
Oh
Was
yeah,
it
she
Dudleys?
like she need. I wish I could punch her in the eye.
Ah, man, that I don't know. That was painful to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, like it did its part really well.
Mhm.
Painful, but it's like, oh, good job. I forgot about how like
She's sitting here snapping at him and calling his mama a bitch, and I'm like, whoa.
yeah, this got real. I mean, they set their foot down like this is how this is going to be. Y'all are going to be all right with this.
Yeah.
She floats away.
Oh yeah, because he,
Like-
I think he gets emotional and then uses magic and inflates her like that purple girl from Willy Wonka.
Yeah, which I think that's why Violet,
Violet.
buddy, not purple girl. Like I can tell a difference in color. Yeah, I think that this movie is where I really start to go, okay, how is he doing magic? He didn't wave his wand. He didn't say anything.
Mhm.
But I think that's why he gets off though. He gets off of the crime. Let me finish that sentence because that sounds really messed up.
That's a weird place to end that sentence.
I know. I went. What have I done? He just gets relinquished of the crime of underage magic.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing.
I feel like everybody gets one. You know?
Yeah, and it's not that bad. Like, dude, yeah,
I guess it would depend on the severity of the magic offense.
yeah.
But
You get the night bus popping up, which it's kind of fun. Like, I really wish they'd do a Harry Potter series of the Auroras, like in real world, because you actually see like London in this movie.
yeah.
The first time you see not Harry's home, not Hogwarts, you see like, here's the world. There's a world outside of Hogwarts. And I think that's where, I don't know, this movie grounds itself. I send you a text that's like, this movie rules because they solidify, here's the school, here's where everything is at the school. We've moved everything from the past two movies, but they stick with it. But like, this makes a world. It's not just a movie, they make a world.
Yeah, and it's
But
you sent this to me today, but last night, I can't remember. But they built out more around the school, so it actually feels like more of a real place.
yeah, and like But I don't know. It always sucks to be like, oh, that's not how it used to look, but who cares? Like, and they stuck with it after this.
Yeah.
But Harry runs away from home in this large tourist bus. Wow.
The night bus.
I've been talking all day and my throat's shot, so bust, whatever. This huge bus with huge tits. The night bus picks up Harry and it's a double decker. It's just kind of, I don't know. it's whimsical. It's like you're back in this world. This is another weird thing. It's very lovable. Harry's going to the Leaky Cauldron. They've never talked about it at all. So it's kind of weird. Like,
Isn't that the name of the bar that Hagrid takes him to at the beginning? Was that not the Leaky Cauldron?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
But we just get to see like
totally forgot that.
the hotel and everything upstairs.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And for some reason, there's a regular car out front.
Yeah, for some random reason.
Yeah.
You get some cool. I mean, that's a cool scene of him flying through regular life and
Yeah.
the whole squeeze up effect. Like, all right, yeah, you're
The
making
little
some gags. Cool.
Shrunken Jamaican head.
And then it shows that those Jamaican heads show up throughout the movie for some reason. That was weird. Like, what? What? I don't know. Harry Potter, man, Jamaican. I'm Chet Hanks.
Oh my. Chet Hanks, you know what a
Give me the Tom Hanks top boy.
You're pretty good at that.
Oh yeah, dude. I am Chet Hanks.
Ugh.
Also, sorry, man, rabbit holes is what I do.
Right.
Colin Hanks, what a delightful human being.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he just ignored Chet or what, but those are two completely different human beings to come from the same guy.
He's on Conan O'Brien's podcast this week. This is the week of today's the 2nd of November, just to date this. Which probably shouldn't, but
that's fine.
He sounds just like Tom Hanks. He sounds like a more likable Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been listening to that and I'm like, God, this dude is so great. He's just like, yeah, my dad's really famous and, I've done some acting, but I'm normal. But he's not, give me the cup.
Well, I would consider Tom Hanks kind of pretty normal. Like he's not into anything crazy.
Let me talk about QAnon with you real quick. I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
QAnon. Oh Lord.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nah. Sorry, I'm still getting rid of this sinus infection, whatever this is.
That's fine.
He gets to the Leaky Cauldron.
Mm-hmm.
Preston, does Cornelius Fudge have a permanent office in the Leaky Cauldron?
Looks like that's where he does his business. Is right in the middle of Leaky Cauldron at the hotel, or his stuff that he doesn't want to come into the ministry.
Wildest thing I've ever seen. I was like, oh, this guy's shady.
Yeah.
Holy cow, look at this.
That's probably where he does like
his
real business. You know what I'm saying? Like the real business.
He takes dumps up in there, son. He takes doo-doos there.
But he's like, oh, all's forgiven. We found her and blew her up, and she's wiped her memory, and we're all good.
Here comes the man in black. Good soundboard, Preston. Wow.
Galaxy Defender.
Yes. Yeah, Miami.
So like they've bought all his books for him, I guess. Somebody did. And for some reason there's a book that if you don't stroke the spine and you try to open it, it will try to kill you.
Perverts.
Why?
Yeah, that's dumb.
Why? I mean, I know it's a magic universe. That's going to be an excuse every time. But why does everything want to kill these kids?
That's why I'm not having kids. Harry Potter. Hey, mom and mother-in-law.
Like, everything in this world is set up to kill students, it seems like.
It's a stupid... it's a gag.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think this is one of the... I'm having a hard time remembering. I think this is the last movie that has gags, though. Everything here on is real.
Yeah.
There's no little jokes. There's nothing. It's just like, yeah, these kids are going to die.
Yeah. So, and Ron and Hermione make it there because I guess somebody called them, and Ron and his whole family are there. And Mr. Weasley takes...
Ron, best guy in the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
That guy.
Mr. Weasley takes Harry aside and says, hey, man, be cool. You
gonna die, boy.
Yeah.
You gonna die.
Like, people at work don't want me to tell you this, but, like, Sirius Black coming for you. Because everybody at this point thinks Sirius Black is a cold-blooded murderer still. That was the perception.
Yep. Yep.
But as we find out later on, not so
Best
much.
character.
Yeah.
Best character in the whole series, my opinion.
Played by Gary Oldman.
Gary, and you don't even know it's Gary dang Oldman.
Not really. No.
You can't look at him.
The first time I
Later
watched
you
these,
can.
I did not clock that was Gary Oldman.
It took like the fifth watch, and I went, "Is that Gary Oldman?" And then IMDb existed then. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh! But yeah, man, that's this is the first character that gets introduced that is for Harry.
Mhm.
He's got friends, he's got Dumbledore, but like, that's the guy. And I don't know watching this with I'm watching this to judge it this time.
Mhm.
Like it was so enjoyable of just.
And I just realized
everything.
last night that when he's sitting there sitting on the curb and the night bus is coming, the dog across the street is serious.
Oh, he's there the whole time, man.
Yeah.
Never picked up on that until yesterday.
Yeah, me neither.
So many things, and I think that's where last week I said they start shuffling in these Easter eggs that you got to pay attention to, and they double down on this, and I think it keeps doubling down.
Yeah.
Not Ireland, Dublin.
Right.
Fart noise. Go ahead.
So
just do it.
So we're on the Hogwarts Express, and we can't find a seat, but there's this one cabin with a sleeping
drunk man in it.
professor in it, and do they know at this point that the school is going to be surrounded by Dementors this year, or did they?
No, they don't yet. So they're on the train. They're talking. There's news reports of Dementors searching.
Mm-hmm.
The train stops, and it gets cold, and that's when they understand. That's when that whole thing comes to premonition, when Harry gets knocked out from getting his soul sucked out. R.I.P. Michael Scott. And
the Dementors.
What's the worst thing about prison? The Dementors. No Harry Potter. Yeah. But yeah, Lupin. I don't know. I think I love this movie. Like Lupin and Sirius are the two big people to introduce. Yeah, this movie gets those two characters. Normally you watch a new movie, they add new characters, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
These two guys, no, they're rad. They last too. They're not just introduced; they stick around. I don't know. I think that's where I love this movie. Of those two characters are so good. They're so deep. Everything.
And it seemed like they had been friends for a long time. Like their interactions together.
Which even weirder, you don't realize it until later. Harry Potter and Lupin seem like they've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
I know he's an adult looking out for a kid, but it's kind of like, it makes sense later. But right away, it's like, oh, this guy, they're best friends somehow. But it's his dad. But Harry passes out from the old.
A Dementor gets on the train for some reason.
Yeah, that Dementor sucks him off, and he gets some chocolate after that.
And Lupin does the what do you call
Patronus
it?
charm.
Expecto Patronum.
Give me that Patronus. Give me some Patron.
And then he passes out?
Yeah, he passes out. Lupin gives him chocolate because sugar helps with circulation or whatever that is. But then they get to Hogwarts, and Dumbledore tells them, hey, Dementors are going to start patrolling the school. Get used to it. And that's when you get the understanding of, okay, these things are around. And you also get the new Dumbledore. It's the first time you ever see.
Oh, yes. Oh, he's so good.
I had a tinge of oh, he died. And then I saw this guy and went, oh, I love this guy so much.
This guy has way more expression and nuance and subtlety, and it's great.
I don't mean this to be offensive.
Okay.
He's so less British acting.
Yes.
It's more and these movies get more American. I think I said that in the first movie.
Yeah.
That we did. It's more expressive. It's more,
even though it's a very British, through and through, it's a British production, but
yeah, definitely. But they understand it's not tiddlywinks and I can't remember that saying, but yeah.
This guy's just so much better.
He is. I mean, it is It is fantastic. But then you get the right away. Hagrid's gotten promoted to be a teacher,
Yep.
to be professor for the mythical creatures.
He's-
There's some other title, but
Is that the is that book the Fantastic Beasts book or not?
no,
Okay.
no, it's not. It's no, it's not.
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called.
Those movies are terrible.
Don't make me watch that.
I'm not. I wouldn't make anybody watch those.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. There's so much potential with the actors they have.
Yeah.
It should have been better.
It should have been a Dumbledore franchise. Like, just why have this Fantastic Beasts guy?
And I would say this too. I know this could offend somebody, but like, focus on Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Focus on how great he is. Don't focus on the social, political stuff that they try and push in the movies.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. I don't care. Like, I really don't care, but it doesn't make sense.
Eddie Redmayne could have played a perfect young Dumbledore.
Yeah, 100%. He'd been fantastic. Jude Law is phenomenal, though.
He is. He's good.
I'm on board, but yeah, he'd have been a better younger one.
Yeah, and the guy that played Vecna, who played Grindelwald for a split second in these movies, he'd have been good.
He did. I didn't realize that was him.
Yep, same guy. He even shows up in the Fantastic Beasts franchise for a little bit too.
Totally forgot that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's been around.
But anyway.
Yeah. Hagrid's introduced. It quickly goes straight away. There's some it's kind of fun. Like,
Lupin is the dark arts teacher.
Yes, Lupin. That's where he's there. You get a scene that you hadn't seen before of like Harry and his friends are goofing off and having fun in their dorms.
Yep.
I don't remember what. Oh, they're doing the eating something. Then it's an animal call.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, okay, fun. But then they go straight to class. Hagrid right away, and of course Harry gets picked. Buckbeak, the greatest creature in this entire franchise, in my opinion. So rad. Actually, not the greatest, but it was rad.
Yeah, he looks pretty good too. Like,
yeah, they did a solid job and introduced some lore with them that lined up. This movie does a good job of they don't waste scenes as much. There's dumb things that kind of are, but they don't waste them. So Harry has a great experience, and of course Draco's a turd in a hat.
He's a little prick. He's barely in this movie though.
Kind of like it.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean that.
He's a prick, and we know it. Let's move on.
Yeah, whatever his name is, I can't remember right now. Fantastic actor.
Tom something.
Tom Felton.
Felton. There you go.
I knew Felton, but not Tom.
Yeah.
But also Crabbe and Goyle, his buddies. I think Crabbe got arrested during this movie. He wasn't involved.
Yeah, there was something with an explosive device somewhere. Bomb went off. I don't know. Who knows?
It was all a magic hat.
So we got a new Crabbe, I think, or Goyle.
There's a new kid. It's not even Crabbe. It's not even one of.
Oh, they just this is a new friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He comes back later.
Okay.
But I'm trying to remember, okay, it's a Buckbeak. All that happens. Lucius gets mad because his son's gotten hurt, but his son's a total prick. So who cares? His dad's a Jew hater.
Oh.
And then the fat lady gets killed.
Oh, yeah, in the painting. Who cares? She's a painting. Well, she doesn't get killed. She gets moved somewhere else.
Yeah, she's slashed out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this sucks for the podcast, what I'm about to say, but it's enjoyable to watch. And I'd really say, the Stratus, this midsection of this movie moves so fast and so seamless.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember a lot of it.
I don't either.
But I remember enjoying it a lot. I know the big plot pieces.
It's
in this, you get the Lupin and whatever those spooky bogarts, whatever. Boggart. You get that whole scene, which is fun. It's awesome, but then it pays off later. But there is so much that happens in the middle of this movie that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Contradicting what I said earlier. It doesn't really matter in the overall. It matters for moving, but
Well, that scene kind of like leads into because a boggart is something that you're really scared of, and it's gonna portray that. And when Harry gets up there, it's like they have fun with it for a little bit, and then Harry gets up there, and then a Dementor pops in, and
And
that
then Lupin jumps in, and it turns into a full moon.
yeah
Never picked up on that until last time.
yeah.
I'm so dumb. It's in the book, so I knew it, but I never realized, like,
But then that leads into him training Harry on how to use the Patronus charm later on.
which I think again, the reason this movie's awesome is like you get someone that's fully vested in Harry all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You don't get that before. There's professors like him, Dumbledore even.
But this is like the first one that is like overtly cares about Harry.
And then overtly tells him the truth overall.
He's the first guy to ever mention the truth to him at all because Dumbledore just holds back this whole time for some reason.
Which, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, knowing how this all ends.
But he does get criticized for it later on. But I'm sorry, say what you said again.
I was saying, like, watching these movies at the beginning, knowing how it ends, Dumbledore seems like a jerk more and more. Because it's like, you knew how this was going to end, buddy. You knew.
He even gets called out by, like, Snape in a flashback in a later movie. Like,
yeah.
You're
Snape's
leading.
Not a lot. Snape's barely in this movie, by the way.
Yeah, he's like, you're leading him to slaughter. Like, all you're doing is fattening up a pig. Like,
yep. I mean,
keeping him in the dark is not going to save him.
No. But you do get that. It's fun.
Yeah.
I guess, like, you get that scene. You understand he's getting trained. The Marauders map comes out.
Yeah.
Which I'm just going to go and tell you, Fred and George suck as brothers because they're like, hey, Harry, here's this really secret map we've got. We don't give an F about our brother. It's yours.
Well, it's their little brother, yeah. Harry's the friend of the little brother. They're automatically gonna think he's more fun.
And I'm sorry, I forget. Like the Hogsmeade part's a big piece.
Yeah, They go to everybody can go to Hogsmeade except Harry because his uncle wouldn't sign his paper. And I'd be like, fucking fake it, And,
yeah, that's what I'm like. And I love Harry right away. Is like, can you sign this, Professor? And it's like, oh, she definitely could.
No. No.
No. So then he gets the map and he sneaks in.
Yeah.
And that's where he sees Fudge. Who else? Hey, Logan.
She's
trying to sneak up and pretend like she's not here, but Fudge,
Dumbledore,
McGonagall, and that's when you find out Sirius is Harry's godfather.
Yeah.
And Harry, under the cloak, gets the full deal of like, oh, Sirius is the one that, tossed my parents to the wolves. Good one? Good one? All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good point of clarification. Everyone thinks that Sirius killed Harry's parents, or he just pointed Voldemort to him?
Sold him out.
Okay.
They all say he sold him out, which
wasn't the case.
Peter Pettigrew is the one that did it.
But did Sirius actually serve Voldemort? That's my question.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Everyone just assumed that he did because they thought Peter was dead. Everybody thought Peter Pettigrew was dead.
Sirius apparently killed Peter Pettigrew. So that was the cover-up, is he's dead. He couldn't have done it. Sirius killed him.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sirius, I don't know if he was a spy, because, he was.
I think he was. I think he was.
Yeah. So I think he was in there, just kind of like Snape. Same deal.
Yeah, Dumbledore had 2 in there.
But yeah, that's where you understand, like, oh, here's the real pushing of all this bullcrap. You also see the Whomping Willow. That's where I text you earlier of like, they really solidified locations because the Whomping Willow is all of a sudden outside of the school, not around a wall or anything else.
I just assumed it was a different tree.
I think it's the exact same tree.
Well, it's in a completely different spot then.
Yeah, they switched. Like Harry's hut has 2 huts now. I'm not going to get this nerdy with you. I could really spell this out because it's always bothered me, but it works out in the long run. But yeah, the whole thing changes for sure. But Harry does there, learns everything else. He figures out that that's when he gets the Patronus charm.
Okay.
That's when he talks him into it of
Yeah.
understanding Sirius killed his family. Here's my problem with this movie, man, and so many of these. All this conflict could be resolved if Harry just asked someone and someone told him something.
Mm-hmm.
Lupin just had to say that's not true.
Again,
Sirius is good.
Find an adult. What's the theme the last 2 weeks of these movies? Find an adult. You've got two
a responsible adult.
You got two adults that you trust at this point.
I mean, like, dude, I don't know. It's an enjoyable movie.
It is, but that's a big flaw through these.
Crap.
That's a big flaw for me through these whole movies. Is just find an adult.
And and here's where my logic. I'm looking at notes. I was like, Lupin should have just told him everything. Lupin, I don't think understood it.
I don't either. I don't think he knew the whole story.
Map. When he got the map and saw Peter Pettigrew was walking around, I think Lupin then went, "Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
got it. I'm understanding." So,
but Hagrid is sent to some kind of board of discussion or whatever, and they want to execute Buckbeak because he scratched Draco, and Lucius wants him killed. So the creepy ass groundskeeper sharpening an axe. Yeah, that's
not Filch. That's a different guy.
Oh, it was a different guy. It looked like Filch.
Yeah, he's got a bigger role in the book. He is the executioner.
They just have an executioner at the school.
He's a legit, he kills. Might be forgetting this, but he kills magical creatures. That's his job. That's what he does. Yep.
Creepy.
Yeah, I want that job.
Yeah. So Harry and Hermione and Ron, of course, because they're so damn nosy, go down to Hagrid's hut. And they're like, "Oh no, we can't let him kill Buckbeak. This is so sad." Blah blah blah. And then Dumbledore, Fudge, and Executioner coming down the hill, and then they come out the back because there was some rocks thrown through the window for some reason that we find out in a few minutes. They try to get Buckbeak to go with them, I think.
Yeah, and they see someone else behind them. Which you pause it, you definitely see her. It's pretty rad. Like, you definitely see it. There's a frame of them there.
And we'll get into my questions of time travel in a minute. But if you introduce time travel into something, I got questions about it. So they can't get Buckbeak to go with them. They go back up the...
They go back up the hill to the bridge.
Yes.
And watch. Because Hagrid wants them to go. He don't want them to see.
Yeah, he didn't want them to see Buckbeak
see is things chopping something.
Mm-hmm.
Things chopping something. The executioner swings his axe.
There you go.
Ugh, sorry.
So
brain no good. While talking bad.
Somehow they end up at the Whomping Willow.
So what do they see? Oh, Scabbers bites Ron because Hagrid's found the rat.
That's right.
He bites Ron at the thing and runs down through there. Ron follows him in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
They realize that the Whomping Willow, there's a little fight. They all sneak in, but it leads to the Shrieking Shack, which is where it's realized that no. Sirius pops up before they go in.
Yes.
The dog sneaks up on them.
Chases them in there.
They end up... chases them in there. Excuse me. I'm terrible at a mute. You get the full deal of understanding that Peter Pettigrew is that rat.
Yep.
Sirius is an animagus, which... kind of funny. Like, Sirius... not Sirius.
He can choose...
Snape.
He can choose when he transforms.
Yeah.
And a werewolf has no choice because of the full moon.
What is McGonagall then?
She's an animagus.
Okay.
Because she can turn into a cat.
They never like. Yeah.
Which I think that would be a cool thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would learn that skill day one.
Dude, you you read the Animorphs books, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, yeah, dude. You and I are of the time period of Animorphs rule. Let me be a bird for a minute and fly around. I want to stuck as one.
I want to turn into a tiger and have those awesome back muscles when I walk. Or shoulder muscles.
Yeah, screw that, man. I just want to. I just want to fly
high up in the sky.
Arms around the bird. Yeah, but. Dude, you know what? Until this time watching it, again, Sirius shows up, and I'm like, oh, that dude's bat crap crazy. Why would you? No, he doesn't say anything crazy. He doesn't threaten anyone but the rat.
It just seems like it.
They do this phenomenal. And then, like, Lupin pops in, same deal. And it's like, what's happening?
Does an Expelliarmus and knocks Harry's wand out because Harry's trying to kill him. I guess.
I mean, like, what the first couple times you watch this or read it is insane of like, this can't be happening. Dude, I watched it this time and it's like, there's nothing bad happening. They didn't do anything. These two are just dead on. They have a goal.
Yep.
Like, good job. Snape comes in and poops it up because, good job, Snape.
I had to
just saw that burp.
Yeah,
I hear it, and it really threw me off.
I have a mute button now, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, then Sirius sneaks up on everybody, and he's like, "I knew you were on the grounds. I knew you were here. I told Dumbledore you were here, and I told Dumbledore that Lupin. I knew you let him in." He's like, "I'm gonna get both of you." Because they were the ones that and he has a little bit of trauma associated with these two because they picked on him as a kid.
Which, man,
which, get over it. You're like 45.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, screw it. But also, like, Sirius is my favorite. Those flashback scenes is like, but I don't know. That's great character stuff. Like for Harry, especially, like, yeah, your dad's kind of a jerk.
Your dad was kind of a dick. But I mean, he grew up.
We all at some point, Harry takes his wand, which I don't understand how he doesn't get expelled for that later. But hey, movie.
Yeah. Dumbledore let it slide. I mean, he gives.
Also, first time someone uses someone else's wand in the entire series.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yep. That wasn't supposed to be possible.
Well, what about Kenneth Branagh and Ron's wand?
But it doesn't work. So you don't know, can you actually do it? I know his wand's broken.
It did a spell.
Yeah, he did it. Yeah, you're right. He did do a spell. But you can see people can successfully cast with other.
I would feel like if you use somebody else's wand, it wouldn't be as strong as if you did it with your own.
Yeah, which we'll talk in a couple movies. I got problems. So they get out of there. They're holding them hostage. Everything's kind of cool, but they walk out
because Harry spares Peter Pettigrew. He's like, "Hey, we probably don't need to kill him, but we gonna take you up to the Dementors."
Yeah. Dude, I love that logic. He gives a line later that there's a time and place for violence. Fully understand that. I don't do violence. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not for it. So there's a line. I'm not a weenie, by the way. I'm a man.
Oh, man.
That's so good that Harry says is like, I don't want to watch my dad's best friends become murderers.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh, man. Dude, that's a solid thought. Like, good for you. You're not going to let your dad's friends be bad.
Yeah.
When they're looking for vengeance, I don't know. Pretty solid little tidbit.
Yeah. So we get out of the house again, and I think that's when the full moon. Well, there's a struggle.
No, they get out. Sirius takes Harry aside and tells him, like, I want you to live with me. Which immediately, like, as the watcher, you're just like, oh my God,
Hell yeah.
this is the best. This is so rad.
I don't know where we're going to live, and I don't know if the wizarding world will let me live with you.
Which, again, serious, you've got a house, dude.
He does.
You've
Yeah, he
got a
does.
house.
Yeah,
So
he
he's gotta
come
get-
from a rich
He's got to
family.
get pardoned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's got to
comes
get
from money.
pardoned.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when the full moon comes out, and then you understand Lupin's a werewolf, which has been alluded to the whole time.
Yeah.
Didn't realize until this watch, Lupin's had face scars the whole movie.
Yeah, they were very subtle.
Yeah, until the end.
And then,
In the
but
end, they weren't.
that makes me go back. It makes me go back to my favorite Alan Rickman scene in all of these movies. He gets to be the dark arts teacher for a little bit, pulls down the screen. Turn to page 394.
God, he's not in this movie a lot.
No.
That whole sequence, it was the best.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're not going to be in this a lot, but when you're in this, you're going to own it.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
going to be money. And it was perfect.
So Lupin's a werewolf now because the full moon come out, and Peter Pettigrew gets away from him, turns himself back into a rat, and scurries off into the night. And Sirius tries to keep Lupin from turning into a werewolf. I don't know how effective
Yeah, and
that
he
is.
fails. He goes straight into it.
Yeah.
Sirius fights him, and it's broken up because there's a werewolf call in the woods
Oh.
that you can clearly hear. It's Hermione.
Mm-hmm.
You immediately know the voice. It's like, oh,
And then he trots off, and then Ron gets hurt. Hurts his arm or leg somehow.
yeah, what a weenie.
They get Ron in a
Stupid
hospital.
Ron.
Got his leg up in a
Ron's
cast.
big. Oh, never mind. But yeah, so like that happens. Harry chases after Sirius, who's
Mhm.
hurt. They get by the lake, where it's just the two of them,
Mhm.
and all the Dementors come in, and the Dementors, they take his soul. Somebody cast a Patronus that is a deer,
Ooh,
a
yeah.
stag. Sorry, not a deer.
It's a deer.
Oh, a deer, a do, a do,
A deer, a female deer.
Dude, I haven't watched The Sound of Music in a while.
It's so good.
The end of that is pretty dark, right?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It's about Nazi Germany. So
I don't remember that. I flat out do not.
That's-
It's my mom. I think it's my mom's favorite movie.
it's
Like, I
all
just remember,
because it's all cheerful and stuff in the beginning, and then it slowly just
Whew.
devolves into Nazi Germany.
it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Harry passes out and he wakes up in the infirmary. Everything's hunky dory.
Yep.
But Sirius is stored in the central tower. They're gonna take him back. Sorry, I can't get mute quick enough, man. But you get this crazy scene like Dumbledore's not been a part of this movie.
And he just
There's
pops
this part
up.
You kind of love him. He's just like, "Ooh, I'm interesting. Hey, girl, turn that thing 312."
Also, does somebody have to like pass a certification to get a freaking time turner to travel through time? Yeah.
McGonagall just said, "You're a good student. You don't want to be late. Here's this." That's
Yeah, let's
hey, that's the girl you give it to. That's my
That's
only
true.
logic. It's
Yeah.
like, all right.
you
checks
know
out.
she's not going to mess with the fabric of reality if she.
But before you dump on time, I just have to tell you, I love this time sequence.
Yeah.
For one reason, the movie doesn't base itself on it.
No.
All of a sudden, there's this time thing.
Yeah.
It's the most like a left turn.
So I'm assuming
Situation.
with a time turner, if you use it and then you go back and do something, that means it always happened that way.
I'm assuming with a Timmy Turner, you got some wishes with some fairies, and you can do whatever you want.
Well, I mean, because everything happens the same way, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's where, okay, I've written a lot of papers at some point in time about time that I'm not going to go into, and you're not going to look it up. It's not on the internet. There's some logic here that I don't agree with, but it's kind of right. Richard, if you ever get really bored, Richard Feynman has a lot of good papers about some of this stuff.
But they go back.
It's that whole logic of like, okay, the stone hit them, but they haven't thrown the stone yet.
Right.
So how did the stone go?
I think because it just happens. If it happens, it's always going to happen. That's my logic. It happens no matter what.
I think time is a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. If you go back, whatever happens going to happen. There's no changing it. It's happening.
So if you see yourself,
Regardless,
you know
if
you're
you
going to
back.
travel back in time.
Oh, I killed myself, dude. I'm over there. What did I just say?
But this time, they are successful in saving Buckbeak. Because it's Harry and Hermione, and they're in the woods, and they get Buckbeak to go with them and save Buckbeak.
I hate time. As you can tell, I hate time stuff. Yeah, I was fine with it. This was like...
Yeah, I mean, it's not like...
fun.
It doesn't... The plot of the movie doesn't hinge on it too much.
It's not Tenet.
Yeah. I like that movie, but...
I loved it.
Yeah.
And yeah. Sorry, ma'am.
Oh, you go.
I'm just giving you edit points, and I hate it. And one of the most heartbreaking things of this entire time sequence is Harry Potter's pumped up that his dad saves his life.
Yeah.
Like,
he's like, I saw my father.
Dude, I mean, like, it is so heartbreaking.
It was his Patronus.
You know. But I don't know. There's something beautiful about that whole sequence of, F it, he's not coming. I got to save myself. You know, like.
He's like, I don't see him. Let me go out there and cast a Patronus. And he's like, it wasn't my dad. It was me.
Never saw the deer from Harry, though. Never.
Yeah, you did.
You never see it. You see a deer from the first time.
Mm-hmm.
The second time, you just see the shield popping off.
Oh, okay. But, I mean, his Patronus ends up being a stag, just like his dad's.
Cool. His Patronus is that, though. The deer with the stag with that horns.
Yeah.
What is Snape's? Is it just a doe?
It's a doe, just like Harry's mom.
Lily.
Because he was in love.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he fights him off. They take Buckbeak and break Sirius out. And it's like, again, like, as a heartbreaking moment.
This is where the movie picks up again.
Yeah, it's so good. They break him out. It's awesome. And then the realization of, Harry, I'm a wanted fugitive. You can't live with me.
Yeah, you can't.
It's like Harry's got freedom.
He's like, I don't have to live with those pieces of shits no more.
It's my biggest problem with all this, but
yeah. Sirius acts as his guardian for like the rest of these things, and I think Dumbledore's okay to accept that.
Man, I just that's my favorite character, man.
And then
I don't know what it is. It's just like he's such a cool guy.
Yeah,
I loved him in the books, but I think Gary Oldman.
Oh gosh, he made this.
I mean, soon as I didn't even know. Like I said earlier, didn't know it was him. As soon as that dude pops up, it's just like Gordon.
Well, this was the same. I think this was the same year as Batman Begins. I think it's 2004. So,
I mean, like, dude, what an actor!
Yeah,
just.
So at the end, everyone's crowded around a table. Harry goes into the lunchroom. It's like, oh, Harry, did you see it? And he gets like this fancy
the firebolt,
and he flies off. And
Lupin gives him the map before that, because Lupin's not a teacher anymore.
Yeah, he gives him the map.
That's when they don't reveal it fully. The book does. Like, they made the map. Like
they're Padfoot, Prong, and something else.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. They don't. I thought they did in this movie. Maybe it's later, but
no, like they go into the book goes into more detail about it. But yeah, they're Padfoot. I think
dumbest ending to all the movies.
A freeze frame on Harry's face.
I'm dying. dying just like that movie did.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Man, this was a good one.
8-1.
8.5. I give it.
All right. And I only give it 8-1 because I know what's to come.
Yeah. I think next week is like equally.
What's that?
I think next week is equally a good movie.
Next week's going to be a test. I'm going to have to not think about the book and just watch the movie.
That book takes forever to get started.
It does. It does.
The movie goes through that intro like quickly, like bang, bang, bang.
All I got to tell you is, that's my boy.
Did you put your name into the goblet of fire?
Dude, the line in the book for that movie is Dumbledore calmly approaches Harry.
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire? Like, he puts hands on Harry. He's like, did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
There's no... Harry's going to die.
Yeah.
Good movie, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how much good trivia there is. Most of it's just like...
The only, like, thing that kind of that pissed me off was, like, Alfonso Cuarón made all the kids write essays about their character.
Yeah, that's where this got weird. Like, they dropped him after this movie.
I'd be like, screw you, guy. Like, I know my character. You just showed up. That was his get to know you thing, was like, write an essay about your character.
I know J.K. Rowling's favorite character is Lupin.
Okay.
Like, that's her favorite character.
I can see that.
Period. Christopher Columbus didn't do this. He was signed on to do every movie.
Yuck.
Didn't do it because he wanted to see his kids grow up.
There you go. Good for him.
I was like, that's admirable, man. Like, good for you. Tilda Swanson was supposed to be Professor I can't say the name. Trelawney.
Tilda Swinton
there we go.
was going to be Professor Trelawney.
Swinton. Conan O'Brien was supposed to be, is what I'm saying.
But it's another famous. Oh God, what's her name? Shoot. Anyway,
Lupin's the only professor to call. One of the only professors. I think there's like one more. I'm looking at my notes, not trivia, so it could be wrong. I think Lupin's the only person that calls students by their first names, not their surnames.
Not Mr.
Everyone else is Potter or whatever else.
Not Mr. Potter, Miss Granger.
Sorry, all my notes are garbage. They're like one line of bull crap.
We'll move on to what you watching?
I watched. I'm starting Reacher again.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good series.
It's a really good. Yeah. There's something else I'm watching that I'm drawing a blank on. Watching my life dissipate while I work.
There you go.
Crap, man. I had a good one. Oh, yeah, Werewolves by Night.
So good, right?
Finally watched it. Oh my gosh. And it kind of worked out watching this movie after.
Uh-huh.
God, dude, it was so I knew it was going to be good. I didn't know it was going to be as good as it was.
I was just
shocked.
Disappointed Blade wasn't in it.
I was as well, but I also went, you know what? An hour-long special with no tie-ins, I kind of like it.
And there's a rumor that that's how they're kind of going to work some of their series now, is like these Marvel special presentations instead of like 6 or 8 episodes of, which I think is a good, effort.
It was very rewarding to sit down in the morning, watch the entire thing, not have to watch 4 other things, and it's like, it was awesome. I just don't know where it fits. I want to know where it goes. I also didn't know that was the Swamp Thing.
Well, no, that's Man Thing.
Man Thing, sorry. I kept calling it Swamp.
I mean, it's basically the same character, but that's Man Thing.
But like, dude, I don't know. That whole thing was perfection. Like, you have great action, you've got gore, which is important because it's the homage to the 3040.
And they got away with that because it was in black and white. That's how they could keep it, like TV 14 or whatever.
Just like Mr. Beast doing the Squid Games video.
Yeah.
They didn't have the liquid and red, so they could do it.
Yeah. Well, I watched Nope Sunday night.
Ooh, how was it?
That's a movie.
I need to watch it.
It is so good. Not what I expected.
I was going to ask you, like, don't tell me, because I know, I've seen a trailer. I know what I expect, but I don't know.
And you don't want to know anything going into it. That's the beauty of this movie. You don't want to know anything.
No, I know it's good actors.
I avoided like every review, trailer, everything until I could rent it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah,
I forgot that was out. Even.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this week. We're 3 movies deep. Next week is Goblet of Fire.
Give me them fires, baby.
Yeah. So
next week, Twilight and Harry Potter.
Yuck. Oh yeah, Batman's a Hufflepuff.
Batman's a Hufflepuff. Oh, I'm a Ravenclaw. Sorry, didn't mention that last
Ravenclaw.
week.
Caw-caw!
Yeah. Call.
What's your Patronus?
I'll have to take that quiz. It didn't tell me.
I'm a brown squirrel. Honestly, a little disappointed.
Oh, I don't want to take mine now because I know mine's going to be bad. Mine's going to be like, you're a brown turd.
Well, that's it for us this week. If you have a suggestion for future movies, you can send that to secondtakemoviespod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Second Take Movies. Thankfully, haven't gotten any weird DMs yet. So, so next week we'll see if Harry put his name into the Goblet of Fire. So for Jake, I will say,
Pooter.
We'll see you next week.